So today I'm going to talk to you about my workplace innovation project. The project is supported by the excellent people at the KTP West of Scotland in Glasgow and our knowledge-based partner, which is the University of Strathclyde, and specifically the Hunter Centre for Entrepreneurship, and that's in the Strathclyde Business School. And the industry partner is a company called Alba Facilities Services. And the project overall focuses on the transformation of Alba. So that's a cultural and technological transformation, and to implement the 4-day work week. And through that, we're generating research for the knowledge partner and also experience and training for me, which I'll come to at the end. So Alba, firstly, are a facilities services company. So they are business-to-business engineering services, and they've got 24-hour day service, 365 days a year for clients all over Scotland and Northern England. And so they've got gas, lighting, electrical, central heating, ventilation engineers who are maintaining, replacing all the stuff that makes up the building fabric. And they've got about 40 engineers in 4 functional teams and 20 office-based staff to support them as well. And the company turnover is good. It's about 7 million, and they've been operating for over 20 years, and the facilities management industry is quite a mature industry. The challenges that Alba has, and as with any engineering services company, I think, is that they've seen very little innovation over the past 20 years beyond some sort of rudimentary digitization approaches. The technology that exists today is substandard and not very effective. And there's also some outdated management and leadership style approaches as well, which companies tend to favour a command and control approach rather than a supportive people first approach. So the productivity generally is quite low, and the system is plagued by inefficiency. Staff feeling like they're overworked and they've got a high degree of burnout, and because of that, and because of the management approaches, there's a high degree of employee turnover as well, leaving a company with lots of untapped potential of the very highly skilled people who are currently working for you. So the solution is to take a people first approach, and what we mean is that we're going to create an organisation that really supports people to be their best at their work. First of all, we're going to implement the 4-day work week to the organisation and implement people-driven innovation and continuous improvement practices. So that's teaching the organisation how to get better, but making people and getting people to be at the heart and soul of that. So this necessitates a technological and cultural transformation to achieve these things. And what we're going to do is leverage the 4-day week as a model of shared value. And that's what we have done to make sure that we have successfully delivered on all these outcomes for the business. So I'm going to go take you through this journey and how that came about right now. So the Alba 4-day week is not to be confused with the condensed working week, which is where 40 hours are squished into 4 days. Actually, what we're doing is called the reduced working hours 4-day week, which is a model that was published by Andrew Barnes firstly in 2018 with his book there. And that's a model where all employees reduce their working hours genuinely by 15 to 20% per week. And there's zero reduction in pay. So this is a gifted day off which employees received, which is conditional based on their performance. And employees sign up to this on a voluntary basis to increase their performance in return for this gifted day off. And the goal then is to maintain the overall business output, despite the fact that we've got that less, 15 to 20% less resource availability. And detractors, it leaves a lot of room for detractors, this approach, because there's not much data on how it can be achieved. And people would say common criticisms are that, it would just never work in our organisation, employees are working flat out already, and we just can't ask them to work harder. It would just be unfair. Other people think that people won't rise to the challenge and that they're just lazy, possibly. And I would say you've missed the point if you're in those camps, and that the 4-day week is really not about working harder. It's about working smarter and teaching your organisation how to do that as a whole and how to focus on the value adding work. So the 4-day week is a model of shared value creation where value is being generated simultaneously for Alba's employees, and in return, the value is being generated for the business as well. And how that works is that, as I mentioned, there's a lot of value that's being delivered to employees. They report increased well-being. Their work-life balance is obviously much better with a day off every week. They've better home lives, and also reporting less burnout, in general, better physical and mental health outcomes as well. And that results in a really powerful psychological mechanism to happen. Now, we understand this from the research that we've conducted in the organisation, that this is happening, and that people who experience these benefits also have what's called a felt obligation to help the organisation. They want the organisation to be successful because it benefits them. So that results in them trying to improve their performance. And the challenge for the organisation to increase that value is to engage employees and teach them how to act to maximise the value being delivered to the organisation. And this is where we can introduce people-led innovation practices. And the Alba people-led innovation approach, from the research and from working with the company, I identified 3 areas of focus to drive this approach through, which means that we can take a data-led approach using technology, and we've got process and structure that help guide people how to interact, how to collaborate, and how to solve those problems. And we've got people who are empowered, who are able to solve those challenges and know where the guide rails are and know how to be flexible within this as well. To take a data-led approach to people-led innovation, I've co-created a suite of real-time dashboards for the business, and so they're in use for all the teams across the business. And what they do is they provide an intuitive and a very quick and deep level of understanding of performance at both an individual and a team level. So what that means is you can really monitor how you're progressing towards your team-based, your shared goals, and because of that, you can prioritize resources. If someone's struggling in a certain area, or if you're not quite achieving that mark, you can assign people accordingly to make sure that those targets get met. So at all times, you're identifying opportunities and you're solving those problems and overcoming the challenges collaboratively. So you're boosting collaboration and performance at the same time. So for people-led innovation, we did a process that really makes sure that everyone understands how to collaborate and how to solve problems effectively. It's a system that really guides that whole process to function effectively. And so it's a 5-stage system, and it's an approach that I've co-created with the company again, and it's called the Alba Scrum Framework. So this was adopted by an approach that was developed by Jeff Sutherland, who was the creator of the Agile Manifesto. So the framework works in 5 events in a sequence. So they all have to take place within the work period, which we define as 1 month. And at the start of the month, you're going to create a work package of all the work that you think can be achieved in the next month. Then you're going to get buy-in from the teams and individuals by allowing them to see the plan, asking them if they agree to it, and then making any adjustments that they recommend that are feasible. And then from that, you're getting their buy-in and accountability to deliver on this plan. Then you're monitoring the progress, the third thing, which is the daily scrum. It's a 10-minute morning meeting every single day where team members highlight the challenges and the hurdles that they're experiencing, and they identify how to overcome those barriers, and also, importantly, identify improvement opportunities as well that exist. At the end of the month, you're going to review the performance. Did you achieve the targets? If not, why not? And then reflect on the overall team's performance, and also looking at those improvement ideas that you've got and thinking about how can we possibly do this better next time, and how can we make the individuals in that team accountable and responsible for delivering on those improvement opportunities as well in the next work cycle. And so you repeat that again, and you get better and better consistently every time you go round. And for people-led innovation to work, we need people in the system. So we need the people to feel empowered And this is something which happens when you're, as an employer, have a relationship with your employees built on trust, and you're supporting them effectively. You're supporting your employees effectively to take ownership of their work, to take ownership of the outcomes of their work, and to help them understand how to do effective problem solving within their teams, and giving them the autonomy and the initiative to take risks, and to understand that you're not going to get it right every first time. And so you have to experiment as well. So flexibility is critical for this. The benefit of KTP to Alba as an organisation and to its employees has been absolutely massive and has transformed the way the business operates. And to date, over 3,000 days have been gifted to Alba's employees, so they themselves would tell you how much of a massive improvement that's making in their lives, and how they would, most of them at least, never go back to a 5-day week. And they, as an organisation, they've actually achieved a world first by being what we know as the first facilities management company in the world to implement the 4-day week as a standard business practice. And they've only been able to do this after we've successfully completed a 9-month trial where we got over a lot of those hurdles, experimented, made improvements, and implemented lots of the initiatives that we mentioned in this presentation. And the data shown is that productivity has gone up, finances have gone up, and staff turnover has gone down. So we're really addressing lots of those long-term issues that the business faces. And we're implementing people-driven innovation, and we're creating a long-term competitive advantage, so that, you know, when this KTP project finishes, the things that we've put in place are going to make sure the business is successful long into the future. And they're being recognised as well by their competitors, but also by award-winning companies like the Herald, who are nominating them for the Trailblazer Award, and also Investor in People, who have nominated them for an award as well. The benefit to the knowledge-based partner, the University of Strathclyde, I have engaged with the university in lots of different projects and things over the last 2 years, but the main one is a student project, master's thesis, which has been complete now and benefited the organisation as well. We've done one case study so far completed, which is going to be used in an entrepreneurial mindset module, which will be taught to all the students at Strathclyde, and that will be taking place from next year onwards. The second case study is a publication based on the implementation of the 4-day week, and going into some more detail about the sorts of initiatives that I've mentioned in this presentation today. And we've also got a peer-reviewed paper in draft as well, which explores the psychological mechanism that I mentioned as well. The KTP for me has been like a dream job, and I've benefited massively from the whole experience. Number one is to successfully lead the implementation of the 4-day week, and it's a very difficult organisation, one which works 24 hours a day, 365 days a year in the west of Scotland. And I can say that the people are probably the hardest challenge there. And with Jim Berryman quoting here, if it can work here, it can work anywhere. And I really do believe that. The approach and the knowledge that I've got is something that I'm planning to take with me into other businesses. And if you're interested, please let me know. But overall, I've gained a lot of knowledge and confidence in my ability to deliver major transformation projects, to co-create new processes and technologies for companies which make a real difference to performance. And I've become a data scientist through that approach as well, really understanding data, technology, and how these things can fit together to influence an organization's performance. And it's really charted a route for my career into innovation and change management, which is where I'm going to go next, as well as I'm pursuing an opportunity that with the company to extend my contract and to capitalise on some new opportunities that I've identified. So on that note, I would like to end the presentation, and I would welcome any questions that you have.